Most people think estate planning is just a will you sign once and forget about it. But that is not estate planning. That is death planning, and it can leave your family in a mess while you're still alive. Today I'm going to show you why estate planning is really life planning, the difference between a will and a living trust, and the documents that act like the legal keys your family needs if life changes fast. Today on the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show.
It's the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show.
Howdy neighbor, I'm Michael Andrews with Andrews Insurance and Advisory, and you are listening to the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show, where we tackle real-life questions about retirement, Medicare, and Social Security every week. Today, we are going to do a full-blown Michael tutorial, and we're going to talk about something that has to be a part of a comprehensive retirement plan, and that is estate planning. We're going to keep it simple and practical, wills versus living trusts, and the basic documents that help protect you and your family so your plan doesn't fall apart when life throws you a curveball. And I'm going to walk you through 5 basic truths about estate planning, the stuff most people don't realize until it's too late. I think one of the first things that people get wrong when they hear estate planning is they think it's only about death. But an actual estate plan is more like life planning. It covers you while you're healthy. It protects you if you're ever in a situation where you can't speak for yourself. And then yes, it also handles what happens after you're gone. The reason I'm starting here is because if you think estate planning is only about dying, you'll procrastinate it forever. And one of the parts that can hurt your family the most is what happens while you're still alive, but you're not able to handle things that you normally would. So truth number 1 is that your estate plan is actually a survival kit. Think of your estate plan like a survival kit. If you get sick, have a stroke, get in a wreck, or if you're down for a period of time and you can't manage your affairs, somebody needs the legal authority to be able to step in and help you. That's where medical power of attorney, a HIPAA release, and a financial power of attorney come in. Because without the right paperwork, your spouse or your kids can be sitting there wanting to help, and the hospital or the bank can say, sorry, we can't talk to you about that. And it's not because they're being difficult, it's because they're scared of getting in trouble for sharing medical or financial information with the wrong person. So if you want someone to be able to advocate for you, manage your bills, handle accounts, and make decisions that will be in your best interest, they need the legal keys in place before anything can happen. One more thing, don't confuse a living will with a living trust. A living will is about end-of-life wishes. It helps your family know what you want so that they aren't guessing. But a living trust is a different tool, and we'll be sure to get into that here in just a minute. The next thing that we want to talk about is truth number 2, and that is the die and distribute trap. One thing that most families don't think about and a lot of plans basically use are a die and distribute, meaning everything gets handed over in one big lump sum and everybody hopes that it works out. The problem is money is not always a blessing if it hits the wrong person at the wrong time. If your kids or grandkids aren't ready to manage it, that inheritance can disappear in the blink of an eye. And it can even create bad decisions and family problems. A good plan gives you options. You can set guardrails, you can control timing, you can protect someone from themselves, and you can make sure the money actually helps your family instead of accidentally hurting them. Truth number 3 is that a will is not the gold standard that most people think it is. Most people assume, hey, I've got a will. This is the gold standard. We're all good. But once you have a will, you're not done. A will by itself usually means probate, and probate is a court process. It's public, it can be slow, and it can also be expensive. Even in good families, probate can bring stress and drama because people are grieving and emotions can sometimes run high. That's why you hear a lot of people talk about a living trust. A living trust is designed to transfer assets privately and efficiently without probate for the assets that are properly titled into the trust. In plain English, it is a way to keep it in the family instead of out of the courthouse. Next, I want to talk to you about a will versus a living trust and kind of a simple way to explain it. The simplest way to say it is a will is a set of instructions that usually has to go through the court system to be carried out. A living trust is a set of instructions that can be carried out privately by the successor trustee that you name. As long as the trust is set up and funded correctly, and that is a big one, the trust is basically a rule book that you write while you're healthy, and it tells your successor exactly what to do if you can't do it or after you pass. And a lot of good plans use both. A will can still matter for things like guardianship for minor kids, and you'll sometimes hear the term pour-over will. A pour-over will is basically a backstop. If you forget to list something in your trust or something gets left out, the will says pour it over into the trust. It helps clean things up so that your trust rules still control how things get distributed. It doesn't magically erase probate for things left outside the trust, but that's why funding the trust matters, but it does keep your plan organized and keeps your intentions consistent. Truth number 4 is you can build a legacy with training wills. A trust just isn't about avoiding probate, it is also about control and protection. If you've got an heir that is young, impulsive, going through a rough season, or you just don't want a big lump sum handed over all at once, a trust can build in guardrails. You can set rules for how and when money comes out. You can stagger distributions at certain ages. And you can keep the money aimed at things that you actually care about. Things like health insurance, education, basic support, instead of funding bad habits. This is also how families protect land and business or a family legacy. You're not just leaving money, you are leaving instructions, and you're choosing a successor trustee to carry those instructions out the way that you wrote them. Truth number 5 is that estate planning is not just for rich people. I think everyone is guilty of this to a point. A lot of people think, man, estate planning, it's only for wealthy folks. And you know what? That mindset will get a lot of people in trouble. You don't have to be rich to need a plan. You just need to have to care about protecting the people that you love and keeping things simple if something happens. Even a basic setup can save your family a ton of stress, and it can prevent delays, confusions, and arguments later. You don't need to build something fancy. The point is to get the legal keys in place, make sure the right people can step in if they ever need to, and make sure that your wishes are clear. So what we want to do here is kind of give you a starter checklist, kind of a takeaway based on everything that we've talked about today. The simple starter blueprint is this. You want documents that are going to cover you while you're living and protect your family later. Things like medical power of attorney, financial power of attorney, and a HIPAA release so that people can help you if you ever can't help yourself. Then you want to have a will. And for a lot of people, you also want to at least explore whether a living trust makes sense for privacy, smoother transfers, and much more control. The goal of today is not to tell you exactly what you need. It's to make for sure that you understand what these tools do so that you can ask the right questions and get it handled the right way. The big takeaway from all of this that I want you all to do today is remember, estate planning is not just about what happens after you're gone. It's about protecting your family while you're still here. The survival kit part is making sure somebody can step in if you ever can't. And the legacy part is making for sure that your wishes are clear, private, and actually carried out the way that you intended. A will can be important, but a will alone often means probate. And a living trust can be a tool to keep things smoother, more private, and more controlled, especially when you've got land, a business, or you just want fewer headaches for your family. If you've got a question that you would like for me to tackle on the show, shoot me an email at michael@andrewsadv.com. I read every single one of them, and I just might answer yours on a future episode. You've worked hard to build your retirement, and you do not have to make these decisions alone. If you want a second opinion on your retirement plan, well, I'm here to help you. It doesn't cost anything for me to take a look, but not letting me, it could cost you thousands. So if you're ready to take this relationship to the next level, you can call or text me at 918-842-7379 or head on over to andrewsadv.com and click on my calendar to schedule a time that works for you. Before you go, hit subscribe on YouTube so you don't miss next week's episode, and follow the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show on Facebook too. If you found this helpful, give it a like, leave a comment, and share it with a friend who could use some good neighborly retirement advice. Thanks again for listening and watching, and we will see you all next week right here on the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show. Thanks.
It's the Howdy Neighbor Retirement Show, helping you plan so your money will grow. No need to worry, we'll make it clear. Medicare and retirement right here.